We made a video not too long ago talking about Half-Life 3, and I know it's a meme at this point. We're probably never going to see the game, right? Well, wrong. We may actually see this game, and we may actually see this game before we get into the 2030s, which would be a massive win. I know we've been waiting, what, a decade and a half for this game, or even more? Well, today, we've got updates. We've got new news, kind of confirmed news, leaks, rumors. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy, your Chaos. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video. So do me a favor and drop a like. Let's see if we can hit 700 likes on this video. And Tyler McVicker, the Valve insider, says Project Helix may not be what a lot of people think it actually is. And if you're a fan of the Half-Life series, or if you've never played a Half-Life game, stick around, because this could make your day a little better. Let's jump in. Okay, the first big question, is Half-Life 3 actually in development, or is this just another wild goose chase clickbait YouTube video? Now, for years, HL3 confirmed was the ongoing joke because Valve stayed completely silent. But as of 2025, right now, we actually have real evidence piling up that Half-Life 3 is indeed being worked on as I make this video. Multiple reliable insiders have come forward with congruent information, and even data miners have dug up some clues from Valve's own software. For instance, we'll call them code breakers, discovered references to HLX, Helix, widely believed to be the codename for Half-Life 3. It was buried in recent updates to Dota 2 and other Valve projects. Now, that Helix codename has gotten a lot of stuff going on, right? Lots of engine optimizations in Valve's Source 2 engine, which insiders say is a sign that the project is moving forward, and it's moving toward a polished state, possibly even nearing completion. We're not talking about Half-Life 3 in pre-production here, my friends. Moreover, a respected Valve leaker I talked about earlier, Tyler McVicker, claimed in a live stream that Half-Life 3 is playable end-to-end, at least internally, and being heavily playtested as we speak. Let that sink in. The entire game, beginning to end, is allegedly up and running. That is a huge leap from the jokes and memes we've gotten in the past, and another well-known data miner, Gabe Follower, also chimed in that parts of the games are already finished and playable, though still need to be polished. Both of these individuals have decent track records with Valve leaks, so the community is listening very closely. In fact, Gabe Follower suggested that Half-Life 3, often talked as codename Helix, is in such good shape that it doesn't seem like it's getting shelved this time. So after many false starts over the years, that is saying something. Now, Valve itself, they don't say anything. They never do. There's no official announcement, no trailer, not even a hint. Gabe Newell and crew are masters of secrecy. Valve didn't show anything Half-Life related at the major gaming events recently. They were basically absent from events like the Game Awards or even Gamescom, even as rumors are swirling around. Of course, that silence can be frustrating to fans like you and me, but it's also typical Valve. Remember, they announced Half-Life Alyx out of the blue on a random day. No E3 stage needed, and as some fans have pointed out, Valve owns Steam, so they could drop a Half-Life 3 reveal whenever they want. They kind of have that GTA power. They have that Rockstar power where they don't need a press conference. But the radio silence has a community obviously nervously optimistic, like we're all waiting for Valve to finally say, yes, it's happening. And until then, we have to rely on these leaks and these type of videos and me to give you guys the news. Now, let's talk about the clues and leaks out there that have come out really recently. There's actually been a flurry of them in the last year, which that is the reason we're making this video, and the hype is at an all-time high. The GMan teaser. On New Year's Eve of 2024, Mike Shapiro, the voice actor for the GMan and Barney, dropped a cryptic video in character. In that unmistakable GMan voice, he wished us unexpected surprises and said, "See you in the new year." He even hashtag Valve Half-Life in 2025. Now, considering Shapiro's Twitter was dormant since Half-Life Alyx, this was big. People were absolutely running wild with speculation that it was hinting at Half-Life 3, and last time Shapiro teased something years ago, we got Half-Life Alyx. So why would he not be giving us a nod to another HL announcement coming in 2025? Maybe, I don't know. It really seems like something. Then we had an insider live stream. Tyler McVicker, he talked about, he's the Valve insider, that he did an AMA live stream about Helix HL3. Did it a few months ago. He spilled a lot of information. According to Tyler, Half-Life 3 is the farthest along it's ever been. The game is fully playable internally, like we said earlier, and Valve has people religiously playtesting it right now to the point that even the plot is leaking out in spots. He said multiple sources have corroborated the progress. One interesting detail, though, is Half-Life 3 will not be a VR-only game, thank goodness, like Half-Life Alyx was. This is really important. It means that Valve is going back to a traditional monitor experience for the flagship series, though it could have optional VR support, I don't know. Instead of the VR gimmicks, they're going to focus on other innovations. Tyler claims HLA3 will use procedural generation in clever ways, not for level layouts, but for certain elements like physics props, enemy placement, types, other dynamic bits. In other words, while the story and core gameplay are handcrafted, some encounters, maybe puzzles, might remix themselves on replays. That hints at a semi-roguelike influence, which another leak suggested apparently you could have consumable item spawns, obstacles, even enemy positions may vary. That's cool. Advanced engine features. Data miners like Gabe Follower dug through recent updates to Valve's Source 2 engine. So that was Dota 2 and the shooter project codenamed Deadlock we were talking about earlier, and found references to a bunch of new mechanics, presumably for HL3. The stuff isn't just floating around for nothing. We're talking realistic physics. We're talking thermodynamic systems. Think advanced fire, fluids, water, materials interacting with each other. Even an advanced wind system and more simulation-style vehicle handling. In plain English, Half-Life 3 might have some of the most immersive environments we've ever seen. Imagine winds affecting smoke or gas, or more lifelike driving sequences. And they're talking about vehicles playing a bigger role as well. We also mentioned HLX in the code. Data miners noticed this in the big Dota 2 update. Valve snuck in tons of changes labeled for HLX. Usually you don't optimize a bunch of engine code for a project unless it's gearing up for the final development stages. Then we have the voice actor leak. Project White Sands, another clue from a different voice actor's resume last year. A Redditor spotted that actress Natasha Chandel briefly listed a role in a Valve project codenamed Project White Sands on her website before she removed it. She was probably told to remove it. Valve people dug in, speculation ran that White Sands is actually Half-Life 3, or at least something in the Half-Life universe. I mean, the reasoning could be White Sands could hint at a location, possibly the White Sands Desert in New Mexico, which is near where the original Half-Life's Black Mesa facility was. It's all starting to come together. There are hints. There was a Valve concept artist that came out and said he was in the room where Valve made Half-Life 3. Literally said that. He didn't elaborate, but he said it. So when could we get this? What's the release window look like here? Well, the best we can do is go off what we have. Now, Tyler McVicker believes that Valve is planning to announce the game in summer of 2025, which is obviously over now, pretty much. Some people say it's not, but it's right there, and potentially release it in winter of 2025. His leak roundup, he suggested best case scenario would be that it would launch by the end of this year. Now, I don't know if I believe that one because we're literally in September as I make this video, but you never know. Once again, Valve doesn't care. They could hot drop this thing on a random Tuesday and not think twice about it. So it still could happen in 2025. But if it doesn't, it's probably right around the corner, probably spring 2026. And then how do we conclude the trilogy with no freaking cliffhangers? Gordon Freeman's saga has to be done in a satisfying way. We were left with a brutal cliffhanger. I mean, this was 2007. A lot of people are still emotionally scarred from episode 2's ending. I'm serious. So you have to give us closure, Valve. You can't mess with us here. How do you end Gordon's adventure, wrap it all up with a bow, and make everybody happy? Well, I don't know. That's the fun of it. That's what we get to figure out and see what would actually happen. But we have to get closure in this story. No more to be continued, right? This has to be the grand finale for Gordon Freeman. And then characters really quick, of course, Gordon, Alyx, Eli, the GMan, Dr. Kleiner, Judith, the Combine, advisors. They'll probably all be back. One big, huge, grand reunion built on a platform with tech and physics that's probably going to blow our mind. So yes, here you are. It is real. I 100% think we are getting Half-Life 3. Whenever we get any new updates, I will keep you guys posted, and I'll see you soon.